Like, whenever I was, like, angry at Dad or anything, or, like yelling at him stuff, I'm like, oh my God, your dad's a refugee. You're, like, yelling at your refugee dad. Like, he's already had it hard enough.
You never did it to intentionally, it's just what you were going through. And
yeah, I think that's kind of interesting, actually. Like, you never made me feel like, you know, your life, your situation, like I couldn't live in my own kind of struggle. I never felt like I couldn't complain about things.
No, they were real for you.
Yeah.
being a refugee and running through the borders was easier than parenting. Parenting still remains the hardest job I've ever had. I had an intention that I'm going to be a good dad and I'm going to support the kids however they want to be supported.
My dad was born and raised in Tehran, and he escaped Iran when he was 15, and he stayed in Pakistan for 2 years before he came to New Zealand as a refugee.
Pretty much leaving all of my family behind. It was full of unknown, but also as a 15-year-old, there was a sense of adventure. I was about my kid's age when I left.
Those three are my dad's. That one's like the one on the far end's like, he just never finished it, but I just like it the way it is. This one, I think he was kind of talking about how like when he saw like the Air New Zealand logo, like he associated that with like freedom. So I think that's why he put that into that piece there. I used like my year 10 woodcut to like print my face on my drawers, and now I'm like, it's kind of weird, but like I just like the colours. I still like feel like it's weird to tell people like I'm an artist, but I do art, so I guess, you know, that kind of makes me an artist. It's such a privilege that I have to be able to spend time making art and experimenting and not feeling pushed to like have it all figured out. The reason why I want to be an artist is because I've always been surrounded by art, and I just want to continue to be surrounded by art, and that art was my dad's art. He's definitely been encouraging about me trying to pursue art because it's kind of something that he wasn't able to do at my age. I don't know the moment when I was like, my dad is an artist and that's something special about him. I feel like your art is me in a way. Your paintings always incorporate Pacific or like Māori motifs, and then like Persian like symbolism and Baha'i symbolism and stuff like that. And so I always, could really see myself in your paintings because I felt like you were talking about me or talking about Hami and talking about our heritage and stuff.
So this was done around the time that Maxine was pregnant with Carmel. It was really about this child that's going to be born. As an artist, I could visualize it for her. So every time she's looked at this, she will see her tupuna from different directions of the planet coming together.
When I would meet with people from my different backgrounds, I couldn't always like relate completely to them. That made me feel like I was less Persian or less Samoan or less Māori. I think I felt connected just through my family, through talking to my grandma, seeing my cousins. Like then I could be like, okay, that's my family. Those are the people that I'm from.
You bring in this really super unique child to this world. It was easy to think that she would be just one in the planet. Before we do anything, you gotta go and read.
We'll try not to go too hard on the edges though.
Okay. And so it's been both a source of joy and sadness, not to fit into any particular molds of ethnicity, and to see her at nearly 20, every year she's getting closer to work that out her identity, you know, that's an amazing journey.
I also have a real desire to be really Persian or be really Māori and want to speak the language and want to be all about it, but it's just not my reality. And I'm trying to let go a little bit as well, because at the end of the day, I still have my whakapapa, I still have my grandparents and my connections to those places and those people.
Having lost your home and your family, this pursuit of regaining that space that you call home was more important than pursuing my art. I have no regrets that I chose having a good income and a home over maybe being an established artist. Both Maxine and I, we want the kids to do well. We do want them to have a purpose in life. Most of all, we don't want them to give up being creative and what makes them really joyful and happy over making a good income. Our hard work will allow them to have more time to pursue their passions and creative goals.
I'm moving back to Auckland. I'm going to live with my auntie. I'm moving for uni and for friends. Yeah.
I do think about, is she going to feed herself? Or is she gonna that's why I think I don't care about the traditional recipes.
But I feel
nobody has time to make traditional recipes.
I want to learn how to make them traditionally. Had your parents taught you before you left how to cook some dishes, or did you kind of just learn yourself?
Just trial and error.
Yeah, I feel sad about leaving my parents. I feel actually quite sad about it because I think my parents are my best friends. I know people say that, but it's actually true. There's no one else you can kind of talk to about yourself and not feel like you're making the whole conversation about yourself, because I feel like your parents really want to know. It doesn't feel like home without you guys.
There is home. Yeah, home, yeah. It's a question that I've asked for 35 years, and I think any place that Maxine and I were together, whether short-term or long-term, that was home for us. In terms of a physical home, the closest I have come in 35 years as a replacement for my home in Tehran is probably our house in Kaiti. We walk into it and it's this is home. I am quite settled with that. For now, we experience contentment and joy that we can be together. And whatever tomorrow brings, we'll embrace it.